literally, the way he is holding that belt, the way he is taking that belt off, standing directly behind her, it looks like he was going to use it as a weapon. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We are back again with something a bit different to what we usually do. This one's extremely disturbing though. An Instagram influencer shares a disturbing experience that she had whilst in Dublin. She goes by the name of Chloe Coyce. Now, I'm not overly familiar with who she is. I believe she's an Irish influencer. And what she's a big advocate for is women's safety. Because here in the UK, women's safety has become a critical issue that demands urgent attention and action. As incidences of violence, harassment, and discrimination continue to affect women across the country, it is essential to prioritize creating safer spaces. Ensuring women's safety not only fosters a sense of security, but also promotes gender equality, empowering women to live their lives free from fear and oppression. So therefore, I want to take a closer look at Chloe's story, and hopefully we can spread the awareness of women's safety here in the UK. Let's check this out.
This video is going to be very different to what I usually upload, but probably the most important video I'll ever put out there. So I want to tell you all about an incident that happened to me when I was out there tonight with my friends. And like, I don't want this video or this story to be anything about like me, and I don't want people to think that like I'm like, oh my god, listen to what happened, me. And I also, when I do insert a clip that I did get from the night, I don't want the video to be about that person. It's more about the situation. I just want people to be very, very aware, especially young girls and boys, when they are out and like that, just to be safe. And like, to be honest, we'll get to the point, but I am going to block out the person in the video because, as I said, I don't want it to be about them. I want it to be just like, I just want to give awareness to like what could possibly happen. Yeah, like I'm going to just explain what happened and then we can kind of like go through it at the end. So basically, I was out there tonight with my two friends in Dublin, and I am going to mention that I was in Dublin because I feel like that plays a big part, because I don't really know my way around Dublin. I was staying in a hotel, so like it wasn't like I was at home and I was coming home after a night out or whatever. So I was in Dublin, we were in a bar, and we were leaving before the place closed. So like when we walked outside, there wasn't really many people like around. So we're very like thorough with our safety. Like we, especially myself and Lauren, like we'll make sure that we are contacting each other when we're in a taxi, contact each other when we get home, whatever. Like I feel like myself and Lauren, like we have that down to a T, that we are very, very safe. And like what I'm about to tell you, we couldn't have been more safe with this whole thing. But anyway, so we were standing outside. So it was myself, Lauren, and Shane. Shane got into a taxi. He headed home. So I just wanted to make sure, like, also this was Shane's first time out in Dublin as well. So like we were kind of being very protective and being like, okay, we need to make sure that he gets home first. So he got into the taxi, and then
And that's how you should be with your friends. Like the way she said that, because it was his first time to Dublin, I wanted to make sure he got home safely. So I dropped him straight to his hotel, literally outside the door of his hotel. Most of you guys will know that recently we've been speaking about the Jay Slater case and how it never made sense for him to go to the Airbnb. I mean, we're not going to go into all of that. If you are interested, make sure you go and check out the Jay Slater playlist. But I like the way she said that because he hadn't been to Dublin before, we wanted to make sure that he got home safely. That same energy should have been had for Jay Slater. That's all I'm saying. But let's get back into it.
So where we were out, my hotel was literally about 50 meters away. Like I was like, oh, Lauren, you get into your taxi now because I'm literally only staying over there in blah, blah, blah. And I said the name of the hotel. That is probably my biggest mistake. And I know I keep thinking back and blaming myself, and I shouldn't. So, so I said out loud where I was saying, and there was a guy standing really close to us, but like, I'm not going to lie, I didn't really notice him until what happened next. But there was a guy kind of lingering around, but I'm not going to lie. And like, I don't want to be like, oh my God, I'm like everyone knows who I am or whatever. But like when you're out around and you're around people that are known on social media, people do kind of like stand close. So I didn't really notice him. Like that's just something that I've kind of gotten used to. But obviously I'll be more aware next time. So this guy, anyway, whoever he is, heard me say the name of my hotel. So I said to Lauren, I'm only staying over there. You get into your taxi. She's like, I'm going to stand here. So she literally had the door of the taxi. Also, can I mention that she mentioned to the taxi driver where she's staying. So like people also heard that. These are things that I would have never ever been aware of, but I'm going to be aware of now. Like, you need to just keep your voice down and like don't tell anyone around, don't announce what you're saying. So she had her hand on the door, said, I'm going to watch you walk to your hotel. So Lauren watched me walk across the road to my hotel. She stood at her taxi door. I turned around and I watched her sit into her taxi, and she said that she's not letting the taxi man, she literally wouldn't leave the taxi man drive away until she watched me walk into my hotel, like literally open the door and go in. That is how safe we were. And can I just mention, in the milliseconds of her taxi taking off and my door about to close, this man slid into my hotel, into the door.
Wow.
And like, my point, the reason why I'm telling this story, obviously it's really, really scary, but like, we couldn't have been more safe. Like, we did exactly what we do every night. And like, the more I think about it now, the more I'm like getting emotional. Like, I wasn't actually emotional when it happened. I hate crying on the internet, and actually it cringes me out. But I think like the more I think about the whole situation, the scarier it actually gets. So this guy followed me in. So I realized he was behind me because the door, so the hotel I was staying in, the door is quite heavy. So I pushed open the door. I went in, waved at Lauren. I was walking to the lift, and I could hear like he didn't open the door again. He slid in the gap, so I could hear him like getting getting stuck in the door.
Yeah,
And I turned,
so as the door was just about to close, he literally just slipped his way in, meaning he didn't even need to put his hands on the door. He didn't even need to leave his fingerprints. The guy didn't need to touch the door whatsoever.
Around, and I was like, oh my God, that's the guy that was standing outside. So I kind of like rented a lift, and my shoes were falling off me because they were sling back. Girls will know, they were just kind of like flopping. So I ran in anyway. Also want to mention, there was nobody on the reception of the hotel. That they have 24-hour reception.
What type of hotel was you staying in?
There was no one around. There was no security. There was nobody when I walked in the door around. And then when I saw that guy, I was like, I need to get into the lift. My mom was upstairs in the hotel room. All I was thinking of was, I want to get to my mom. So I went to the lift, got into the lift, and I pressed close door straight away. I was like, literally, like, you know, when you're in there, you're like, close door. The door was closing, and then in slides, like, slid in the gap. It like jammed on him. And at that stage, I was like, I'm less standing in a lift now. This, like,
well, you can imagine at this point, anxiety and stress levels must have been shooting through the roof. This random Don who I see down the road has followed me to my hotel and has now slid into the lift with me. This must have been scary.
Also, I'm going to insert a video here. So straight away, I thought I need to record this. Like, I was going to ring my mom, and I was like, I don't want to scare her either. So I just pressed record on my phone. Now, though at this stage, I didn't know. I was thinking to myself, maybe he's staying in the hotel. Maybe, like, I was thinking of excuses. But the main point of this whole video is between the time that he came in the front door of the hotel and got into the lift, he took his belt off his pants. What? Now, I don't know.
Hold on. He took his belt off his pants. To do what?
I just want to tell the story, and like the more I never actually sat down and went through the night on my own. Oh, I'm annoying myself doing this. So when he got into the lift, he had a belt in his hand, and I was like, okay, is this guy going to strangle me? Or like, is he going to take his pants off? Or, like, I didn't know. So I have the video here. I'm going to insert it, but I'm going to block out his face because he didn't actually touch me. Not that I'm making excuses, but I just want you to see what had happened, like why I think that this is like obviously a problem.
Hold on. That's in the lift. The guy is standing behind her in the lift. She's blurred his face out, and he just took his belt off. Look, his belt's in his hands. Now, the way he's holding that belt, it's like he wants to pull it around her neck and strangle her. Literally, the way he is holding that belt, the way he is taking that belt off, standing directly behind her, it looks like he was going to use it as a weapon. So she's got out the lift.
So when he got into the lift before this video, right? I pressed the door, whatever, he got in, and I was like, okay, so I didn't press my floor number because I was like, I was scared to, obviously. I should have probably got out of the lift at this stage, but I wasn't thinking, I was thinking I just want to get to my mom. So I looked at him and I was like, do you have a floor number to press? And he was like, oh, no, whatever floor. red flag. I should have.
What? I would have got out of the lift. I would have got out of the lift. I would have been like, what do you mean? I see the tactics she played there. Well done. She never pressed the button to show him what floor she was going to. She asked him what floor he was going to. But then the moment he said, well, yeah, whatever floor, hold on. The only response that should be coming out of your mouth is the level floor that you need to be going to. Now, remember, she said that before he starts taking off his belt. Oh, wow. I would have been going crazy in that lift.
He got out. I was like, okay. So I just pressed record on my phone. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking, I don't know, if he kills me, will I just throw my phone away? Someone will find something. Didn't want to ring my mom. Didn't want to.
Pressing the record button makes a lot of sense because the first thing she got was his face on camera.
Yeah, my mom didn't know. I really, to be honest, I wasn't really thinking. I think if I was like, I had a few drinks, but I wasn't like very, very drunk. But also, I feel like if I was anyway sober, I probably would have just started screaming. But I think I was afraid to show him that I was scared. I was like, this is just normal. Like, we're just gonna get to my room. So I pressed my floor number, and this happened. The door opened, and to this side was probably like a good like maybe 20 rooms, and to the side I was going was only like 5 or 6 rooms. He was right behind me. Now I have another video to include here. But if you can see, I know I can insert his face, but if you could see his face, the way he was like holding the belt, like I was thinking to myself, I was looking at him in that video and I was like, is this door going to open? And now I can't see him. Like, is he going to strangle me? But you could see the way he was just looking, like there's so much intention in the video. That's why I knew it wasn't like, I knew he wasn't staying in the hotel. I knew he wasn't being nice. Like it was all just really, really bad.
The guy was a psycho. The guy was thinking so many things in his head. He was thinking, should I do it now? Should I wait for her to get out of the lift? Oh my God, this is so mad. After hearing what we've heard so far and seeing what we've seen with the guy taking his belt off in the elevator, this is truly disturbing. So here we are, walking through the hallway of the hotel. She films again. And there he is, he walks past her at pace. What is going on here? This guy is the most dodgiest guy ever. Then she knocks on the door.
Are you okay?
So she asked the guy, are you okay? Because clearly he stops and looks back at her thinking, hold on, why are you knocking on the door? Oh man. The vibe I'm getting right now is this guy was literally going to walk with her until he see her opening the door with her key card. He was going to force entry. That's the vibe I'm getting. I haven't even watched this video. I've literally seen about 30 to 40 seconds of this clip. I've read a paragraph and a few comments, and here we are.
Just a weird fella. Oh no, this guy just followed me into. So to explain that part, so I started walking. He was right, literally on my shoulder. So I stopped. He stopped, and then he started walking ahead. Now, to the end of that corridor, my room is the very, very last room. I had no idea what was behind that wall, so he keeps walking out behind the wall. There's actually a staircase there. He obviously realized, fuck, this is a staircase. Like, this isn't a room. Like, where is she going? He had no idea where I was going at this stage. I think, thank God my mom was in that room, because if I used my key card to get into my room, he would have 100% pushed in behind me, and sure, he's way stronger than me.
Literally.
So when I knocked on the door,
he
came back out around. Obviously was thinking, why is she knocking? Like, why isn't she using her card? I'm presuming that's exactly what he thought, like, what's she knocking on the door for? That's when I asked, is he okay? I was like, are you okay? And he just goes in,
asking him if he was okay.
The wall again. I run into my mom, and like, I was like, mom, someone's following me. So I had to ring reception straight away. So at this stage, my mom is like freaking out. She like barricaded the door. We couldn't see out the keyhole, so we were too small. So we had like these 2 stools up against, like a big, like heavy thing up against the door. My mom was constantly looking at us like, I need to look out and see if he's outside or whatever. So I rang reception, and I was like, a guy followed me basically from the street up to my floor. He's not meant to be here. Like, I was freaking out.
How is it possible?
This is what kind of.
How is it possible that no security was there at the reception to see this guy just walk in off the street? If he was a homeless man, he could have literally lounged on the staircase for the whole evening and fell asleep. He could have literally taken his jacket off, use it as a pillow. He would have been calm, warm hotel. Even on the hotel floors, you usually find the shampoos and all of that just there in the baskets. You can take all of that. He would have been loving it. But it just goes to show you that that hotel was compromised. I've walked into a hotel at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. There's at least 2 or at least 1 person sitting on the reception desk. It means not only this girl, but every single person in that hotel was at risk.
This is this whole thing up. Like, he should not have been let into that hotel. Like, I personally think there should have been some sort of night porter or security on the door that takes your name and your room number. I know there's a lot of hotels in Limerick that do that. Like, they need to know that you have a room. And they probably thought, now, this is what he said, okay? He said, oh, I saw the guy come in with you on the camera. I just presumed he was your boyfriend.
Wow.
Like, not to be dramatic or anything, but imagine if I was murdered, okay? And they just presumed that this guy was my boyfriend. Like, they presumed that he was with me.
You know what it was?
Because they know.
It shows that he was so close to her. When she was going through the main door, he was that close that on the camera, the reception guy or the security guards presumed that they were together.
I don't like that's.
He was really prowling.
I think a lot more could have been done on the hotel side. There should be security. I'm hoping at this stage and after this story, because I did go down obviously and report it, that they have extra security so it doesn't happen to someone else. Like that is what I'm trying to get out from telling you this, is that like I want to make sure this doesn't happen again. Obviously, like, we don't know. This world is absolutely crazy. But so he got into the hotel, blah, blah, blah. They looked on the security footage and they couldn't see him. They were like, that's it. So a guy came up to my room. I was explaining to him, I was like, he's gone down there behind like that wall. At that stage, I didn't know it was a staircase. And he was like, that's just the stairs. I was like, well, he's obviously on the stairs then if you haven't seen him leave the hotel. They never ended up telling me if they saw him leave, if he was still there. Me and my mom could not sleep. This happened at 2:01 in the morning. We didn't get to sleep until about 5:30. Like, we were literally sleep deprived. I was like, Mom, like, we couldn't leave the hotel room. Like, we were absolutely petrified. And it shouldn't have happened. Like, we were so thoroughly careful with, like, Lauren getting into her taxi, me getting into the hotel, and still something has happened. Like, I don't know what's next for young girls. Like, what more could we have done in that situation? Like, do we have to carry like self-defense weapons? Like, do you know? Because like, God only knows. Like, thank God my mom was there, and thank God that, like, I don't know, maybe he like didn't plan it properly, or like he was too drunk, or I don't know. But like, this could have been so much worse, and this could happen to anyone. Yep. And then I was thinking to myself, like, he didn't get me that night, but like, what if he left the hotel and did it to
someone else? Someone else was a victim, exactly.
Someone else that was coming out of that bar. Because like, when I left the bar, it wasn't closed, so like, he could have went out and waited for somebody else. You know?
So when someone's got that urge, he took his belt off, he was ready to do something right there and then. It flopped. When they've got that urge, what do they then go and do? Do they just go and say, oh, let me just go and have another drink and just get over it? Or is that urge still there to then go and attack someone else?
I just think it's really, 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 really scary that, like, you just need to be so careful. And it's really sad that, like, we can't mention where we're staying. We have to watch each other walk in. Like, we have to wait and watch our friends walk to the front door. We have to then ring them. Like, when I rang Lauren and told her, she was like, Chloe, it's like Lauren then, I felt really bad because, like, Lauren then was trying to, like, blaming herself because she was like, but I watched you, like, I didn't see it. And I was like, we shouldn't be blaming.
Imagine that. Like, she watched her friend, didn't see him creep in behind, but the security guard actually looked at the CCTV and he was that close to her, he thought there was a couple. That's crazy.
Like, this man, this boy, to be honest, because he was actually the same age as me, this boy did this, like, and it's his fault. And, like, I don't know why girls have this thing of, like, blaming themselves and, like, it's their fault that this happened. We couldn't have been any more careful. I really don't know what is happening in this world, and, like, why these young boys think. And it's not like, it's not everyone, because I know, like, my brother would never ever do something like that, but, like, I just think it's awful. Like, it's really, really sad, and I hate crying. Like, let's just ignore the fact that I'm crying, but I think it's the more I think about it, it's like, it's really scary. I think I'm getting emotional because I'm thinking of, like, girls that this has happened to, and, like, it's ended really badly, and, like, it's not their fault at all. So yeah, that's it. I want you to just be so careful on nights out. Don't go to the bathroom on your own. Make sure that you obviously don't announce where you're staying. I think that any hotels that's watching this, you need to have night porters on. You need to take down someone's name and their room number. Even if somebody, like, maybe they thought, oh, this girl pulled this fella in the bar and she's bringing him back to her hotel room. And like, that does happen to single girls on nights out. I have a boyfriend sitting at home, so that wasn't happening to me. But even if that is the case, take the girls or the boys' name, check they're staying in the hotel, and check that they are okay with that person going up to their hotel room, because you can't just presume. This guy could have actually killed me in that lift. There's
If the guy doesn't even have ID, or the woman doesn't even have ID who you've met that night and you take them back to your hotel, then they can't even come into the hotel. That should be the rule. So if you go out and meet someone and you plan to take them back to the hotel, that person needs ID to prove who they are before they can actually enter that hotel. That's how it should work. Now, that was a disturbing experience. I'm sure you guys agree, but a massive shout out to Chloe Quest for sharing that experience, because more needs to be done to protect these young women, to protect all women, to protect all of us. If it wasn't for Chloe staying composed and calm, thinking on her feet, using her mobile phone to record the perpetrator, various other things that she mentions, like asking him what floor he lived on. These are things that really allowed her to assess the situation, but ultimately prevent herself from being a victim. So a massive shout out to Chloe for sharing that experience. Make sure you guys hit the like button. I need to know exactly what you are thinking right about now. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if we are newly watching. Turn your notification bells on so you don't miss out on future videos. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.